It is a brand new episode of New Start Monday Knits. How's everybody's week been? How's everybody's weekend? Today's Monday. It's the start of a new week. I hope everybody's day has gone fantastic. I've had a wonderful day. It's been a great knitting day. I went to the beach, did some knitting at the beach, took a lovely walk in the water. No swimming. It was a little chilly and the water was really dirty, I think, from the rainstorm that we had yesterday. So I didn't go in, but I found a nice shady spot and knit. It was perfect. So we have got new yarn for this week. New colors. It is yarn from my stash that you guys were voting on. Hi, Diane. So I will show you what the two colors are and what the winning color is. I'll show you the stitch pattern that I'm going to do and what the project's going to be. And I have updates on two new starts, last week's new start and the new start from the week before. So Daisy seems to want to be part of this tonight too. Oh, okay. Oh, Diane, you're having supper, are you? That's good. You can just eat and listen along. So colors. Did you guys check out the Instagram poll? Daisy, you're kind of in the way, sweetie. So you guys were picking my third color for a colorwork project. Was it going to be purple or was it going to be this cream? Erin is the colorway for this. This is eggplant. I'll show you the two colors that I picked for this week's project that I knew I wanted to use. This is stuff that has been in my stash for a while. I swear, it does not matter where I set my knitting, these balls of yarn always end up on the floor. So I have started this. That's why I've got yarn wrapped around the ball bands here. I did cast this on a little gauge sample to kind of start with while I was at the beach this afternoon. So this is pumpkin. I think this is pumpkin. Patton's Classic Wool is the DK version of Classic Wool. It's a superwash. And this is olive, deep olive. So can you tell I've got a fall theme going on here. I was going to use these two colors for sure. My pattern that I picked out called for a third color. And I was thinking, do I do orange, green, and purple? Or do I do orange, green, and white? So I left it up to you guys to decide. It was fairly close. One was ahead pretty much all day, and the runner-up came fairly close to catching up by the end of the afternoon. So did you guys vote purple or white? The winning yarn is purple or eggplant. This is going to knit up really fun. And the project that I'm going to do is a pillow. I think this is going to look, it's going to look interesting because I'm doing a slip stitch pattern. I did just a little bit of a sample here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I know, aren't these colors going to be fun? So fallish, for sure. So there, hopefully that looks clear. So the interesting fact about this slip stitch pattern is that they were using the float as a design element in this pattern. Typically, when you, hi Mary, hi Lynn and Sandy, what size of pillow? Small. I'll show you. So typically when you do a slip stitch pattern, you usually hold your float. When you slip your yarn, you typically have your working yarn at the back, so like on the wrong side of your work. So all of the floats are on the back, kind of hidden out of the way, and then you just slip your color from the row below up. This one, you don't. Every time you slip, you want to make sure that your yarn is in the front so that you get that extra little blip of color. So you can see down here, can you see my little green little blips of color there? So it is very interesting, and it is not going to be a TV knitting project for me, at least at the beginning. I'm going to have to write this pattern out. It's in a pattern book right now, and in the pattern book the chart is color coded. So, and it's done in shades of purple of all things. Maybe that was a sign. The chart was wrote in purple and you guys all voted for purple. So as I am knitting from the chart, you know, so I'm using green or orange, and the squares are shades of orange or shades of purple. So I don't know about you, but that really plays with my mind when I'm reading the chart and it's a purple square, but I'm knitting with orange. It's, you know, my brain just like screams like, this is wrong, right? If the color chart is orange, the yarn should be orange, or if it's purple, it should be purple, or if it's whatever. So I'm gonna have to write it out, because right now the color change is really, it's like a mental exercise to read the chart and know which color yarn I'm gonna knit with, and then to remember that I need the yarn in front, not in the back. Oh, you would forget to bring it forward. I know, well, the very first row down here after I cast on in the orange, the very first row I had to take back because I got 3/4 of the way, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. Because you know, you just go back into what you know and what is familiar, right? So I probably, now that I'm hopefully have that stuck in here, I won't, but who knows, I probably will forget. But it's just really, it's really, really simple. So once I get it wrote out, and I think I'll just do it like do it black and white, and do dots or stars or something for the color so it's not color coded. And even just doing this little bit has kind of solidified the fact that I have to move the yarn every other stitch. So it's not going to be super fast, because I do have to move the yarn every stitch. So it's kind of like purling. It's kind of like doing a knit one, purl one, where you have to bring the yarn forward and back, forward and back. That's exactly what you have to do for this stitch. So it's not quite as quick as if you were just slipping and leaving the yarn at the back. Like if you're knitting, your yarn is already held at the back, so you could just slip a stitch and knit and slip, knit and slip. There's no moving the yarn forward and back. This one you do have to move it. But I think it's going to be really fun. I may switch the colors around just because we've got the purple and the green together. So I'm going to try to see if I can have the orange in between instead of having the green in between. And just to see if I can get a little more color definition from the green and the purple together. But you know what? Even if they still end up together, I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I think there'll just be enough texture and color. I think it'll just look very fallish, and that's what I'm going for. So I think it will be fun. I stopped at Len's Mills today on the way to the beach because I wanted a new pillow form. I have pillow forms here. I couldn't find them. I found them when I came home. Is that not what always happens? But anyway, this I think worked out better because I got a tiny, well, it's not super tiny, but it's 12 by, I have 2 stickers on here. So it is a 12 by 12 inch square. It looks cute. So 12 by 12. What I'm going to do is figure out my gauge on this little swatch. I've got 23 stitches on here. I will figure out my gauge. I think I'll do another row repeat just so I have a big enough swatch that I'll get a good representation of what my gauge is, right? Lots of, okay, you guys, sorry, I started talking about gauge. You guys know what's going to happen, right? I can't let a moment go by without talking about gauge. Lots of times, and I am guilty of this too sometimes, You knit about this much and you're like, ah, that's okay. I'll measure my gauge. Hi, Katie. And I'll go with my gauge. But really, you need to do more. You want to be able to measure farther away from where the stitches are on the needle, and you want to, and away from your cast on edge. So you really do want to do at least 4 inches, 5 by 5. I'm not even sure exactly how wide this is. We'll see if I am taking my own advice, or did I tried to make it a nice good width. What am I at? Oh my gosh, 5¼ inches wide. So something, so I am gonna do a little bit more, and for 2 reasons. It will give me a more accurate gauge the more I have to measure over, and it is good practice for knitting the pattern. Just because I would rather pull out here on my little 23 stitches if I forget to move that yarn forward and back. I would rather do it on here and then on the whole pillow project. So we will see, and hopefully I will get a better estimate of gauge. I mean, my goodness, this is 12 inches isn't very big. So what, I'm almost in the center, aren't I? Okay, so if I kind of go something like this. Okay, I could, okay, oh no, I'm not quite close, am I? So double it and maybe another half again stitches, something like that. I'm gonna do it in the round, and I do think I will cast on like a sock toe. So like doing Jenny's, oh my goodness. What is it? I can't, always forget. Jenny's, what's the cast on? Jenny, oh my God. What are those 2 women's names? You know what I mean. I'm gonna do the, oh my God, I totally lost it. Not Jenny's Surprisingly Simple Stretchy Cast Off. I just totally lost the name. The cast on for toe up socks. You guys know what I mean. The this one. You know, somebody will type it. Oh my gosh, maybe the sun. I had too much sun at the beach. I've totally lost the name, but that's what I'm going to do. So it will be joined at the bottom. So I will have to do it on Judy, Jenny, Judy. That's it. Judy's Magic Cast On. That's it, Judy. Tell you, I need to write Post-it notes and stick it up for those 2. I can never remember which one's starting, which one's Judy's Magic Cast On. Thank you, Katie. Isn't that crazy? Judy and Jenny. Oh my gosh. Anyways, moving on. That's the cast on I think I'm going to do. So it will be joined right from the start, and I had debated about just doing it on a 16-inch needle and then sewing it up, kind of like just how I did my pot holders, because I have no problem just whip stitching it closed, and I like knitting it on a 16-inch needle. But I thought for trying on purposes, for once I have this knit up so far, I'm going to want to slide this on because I am going to do it in the round. So my gauge, okay, backtrack to gauge here. I am doing my gauge flat right now, just so I can see how the pattern knits up. So when I go back to writing out that chart, not only am I going to change the color coding section on it, I am going to just write it out for in the round. So the pattern is written for flat. I'm going to just alter it so I can do it in the round. So I want to just see what this is, what the pattern is supposed to look like, so I can make sure when I switch it to in the round that I'm still getting the same look. So I will have to, I should swatch in the round at some point. Maybe my next go, I will do another little gauge swatch, because I don't mind doing gauge swatches. I know some of you guys think, oh, just do a little gauge, do a little measure, cast on, and away you go, right? I really don't have any problem playing around, taking some time and doing a few gauge swatches. So this one's just going to be my practice getting the hang of the pattern, seeing it what it looks like, then I'll do it in the round. Then I'm going to cast on. So when I said what I wanted, I'm going to want to try it on, right? Once I get a little bit done, I'm going to want to slide it up on the pillow form to make sure I've got the right width and it's fitting the pillow. So basically making sure that my gauge and my math that I did to fit this 12-inch pillow form, the pillow's going to fit. And I thought I would like to have it closed on the bottom so I can just slide it in and get this to fit right on the bottom of my cast on. So once it comes over here where it's nice and wide, it's going to give me a better idea of how tall I am actually at, right? Because if I slide it on and the bottom's not closed and then I kind of guess that I'm going to kind of hold it, like I'm going to sew it together, I don't know. Thought it would give me a more accurate idea. Where did my tell ya, tape measures on the floor. I'm going to measure around here because look, it gets 12 inches square, but we're talking, I think, 12 inches this way, not necessarily around, right? So if 12 by 12, so is this going to be 24 inches or is it going to be, oh, it actually is pretty close. It is 24 inches. Okay. Would you want to do top down? I could. I don't think for this. Do you think it would matter for this pattern? Yeah, think about that for a sec. Okay, so it is 24 inches around. I thought it might, with all the extra stuffing, it might have been a little bit bigger. But if I go for 24 inches and make it probably a little, thinking if my gauge was off a little bit, I think I would go a little smaller, have a little negative ease than too much positive. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty close, right on 24. Let me measure again. Wait, let me get in the center of this pillow. 24 and a half is what it's showing up as. So, all right, a little bit of math, a little bit of gauge, and then a whole bunch of slip stitch knitting. I'm really excited. This is going to be fun. I have kind of an idea. I may go back and get some more of these 12 by 12 just to do some fall decorating, to do some more pillows, maybe do some different colors, some different patterns. We will see. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Susanna. So that is that. That's what I'm going to start on. So thanks everybody for voting for the purple. I think this is going to be fun. And I think with the purple, this gives it a little bit more of a Halloween-y look to it. It's going to be fun. So stay tuned. I don't know. We'll see how much I get done this week. I'm hoping to have it done in 2 weeks. Maybe get it at least halfway done to show you guys next week. Wait and see. I don't know. You guys always know I shouldn't make any bold predictions of having finishes because we all know how that turns out or does not turn out. But look at this. This is a new cast on from 2 weeks ago. This is this gorgeous yarn from the Loving Path. It is, oh, you know what? I was just thinking needle size. And I don't even know. I don't have a needle sizer here. I was going to say, I don't even know what needle size this is. Don't know if it's stamped on here. It's a Knit Picks fixed 16-inch needle. And I'm thinking that it is 5.5 maybe? 5.5. I don't think it's as big as a 6. But I knew I was going to want a little bit larger needle, even though this is DK, because it's a slip stitch, which will be, it'll tighten up a little bit. So I knew I wanted to go a larger needle. So there. Now I think I've talked all about that project. Now, moving on to this one. This is the Wild Child colorway from the Loving Path. Oh, you guys, this is a 75-25 sock yarn. So soft. This stuff is really, really nice. and I love these colors. This is a shawl I started a couple of weeks ago. It's an asymmetrical shawl. Hi, Bernadette. I know, look at this. Look at these colors. And I think I had thought when I had originally started working on with this yarn, I was going to do this lace and do a lace panel, do a lace strip, or like do the point, and then I was going to do another stitch pattern and then do some lace and just kind of alternate it. But I absolutely fell in love with just this yarn over eyelet pattern. So simple. I can do this without even needing the pattern. So this is what I knit on while I was at the beach. Just read your stitches. It's a 4-row repeat. There is one stitch I-cord edging on each side. So, and then one side, obviously we're increasing, the one side we're decreasing, and then just working the lace. But it is so simple. Just the end stitches on the right side row are different every time, but you can see it. So it's super simple lace. It is easy. I really like it. So I didn't get a whole ton done. This is where the marker was. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Oh, Kathy, I'm so happy that you're joining us tonight. So this is where I started. So I just did like that much, which is not a whole lot, but I had fun knitting it. So does that make up for it? Am I like 1.5 inches or maybe 2 inches? Maybe. If I stretch it a little bit, I might be able to get to 2 inches. So I got a little more done on it. But I'm going back to the beach tomorrow. I have a few vacation days. So I'm wanting to try to make the most of the last little bit of summer, and I'm picking a different beach tomorrow and heading back to the beach. It does look beachy, doesn't it? That's exactly what I thought. It does look like sand and water. Yeah, kind of a beach sunset look to it too. So I think this is going to get lots of knitting on it tomorrow when I go back to the beach. This is a good beach project. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not even really thinking about wearing it. I just want to keep knitting it. It's one of those ones. Hi, Anne. Oh, you love the shawl colors. I know, I do too. It's one of those ones where I don't want it to end. I just want to be able to keep knitting it. Okay, one more to show you. This was last week's new start. And with this project, I have to go yarn shopping again, you guys. I need more yarn. This poor ball is starting to kind of collapse in the center. This was one of those Karen cotton cakes. So I see it's starting to kind of go, yep. My ball band fell off too, and it's upside down. Karen cotton cakes. Beach glass was the colorway. Yeah, beach glass. It's a worsted weight, and it's a 60 cotton, 40 acrylic, and it feels really nice. Remember last week I was talking, it was just driving me crazy about how this yarn was spun, and somebody left me a message. Oh no, core spun. I think that's what she said. She asked if she wondered if it was core spun. And I took a look on the, I looked up what core spun is. And I don't know, it might be. So core spun is where there's a fiber in the center and then other plies are wrapped around that one. I don't know if that's what this is, but I'm gonna go with it. It looks like it is. So it's this kind of, it is plied because I was able to pull it apart, and there was about 6 plies, but it's so, I don't know, tightly spun that it just looks like a single ply. Anyways, I guess I can't because there's cotton and acrylic, so I guess they have to blend stuff around something. Anyways, I don't know. I just need to worry about the knitting part. I do not know why this, how it is fun, why it is intriguing me so much. But look at this. Hi, Joanne. What is the colorway is Beach Glass, Susanna. So look at this. So there's two, you can just, I'm not sure if the camera, right here, the first couple of rows are a darker brown and then a lighter brown, a shade of white, and I'm just starting into the second shade of blue. Can you just see, just on the needle, there's a lighter shade. And I think I said last week that I was going to do this kind of as a sampler because what you voted for was textured stitches as opposed to lace for this project. So my first thought was doing a sampler, doing chunks in different textures. And I think I had talked about doing like a seed stitch or a bee stitch. Well, you know what? I am loving doing this. This is one of those cases where sometimes once you start knitting, the yarn literally does talk to you and you get a different idea of what you want to do with the project as opposed to what you had envisioned in your head. So I'm just going to keep working this stitch. It's a diagonal stitch and it's a little slower. It's not too bad once you get the hang of it, but it there again, it's kind of like the slip stitch. It's a little fiddlier. It's not just like straight knitting, but it does bias. But I think I'm just going to embrace that. So see how where it's already starting to lean? This corner is leaning to the right. And what's it doing over here? Is it going the other way? Oh, this way is actually, I don't know. Well, maybe it is a little bit. It's pretty, it's not as bad as this side. Actually, when I looked at it earlier, I thought okay, yeah, maybe there. It is definitely, it's leaning as well. So it's just going shroom. So I'm just going to embrace that and have it be like a diagonal shawl. I'm doing it rectangular. I cast on twice. The first time I cast on 130 stitches. I went with the ball band. I thought, okay, no sense in reworking this totally right from scratch, right? This has a pattern on the inside for this wrap. This wrap says it takes 2 balls and it was 130 stitches on a 4.5mm needle. So last week I had talked about going up a needle size, trying to make my stitches be as big and loose as possible to get more mileage out of these 2 balls of yarn that I bought. 2 balls isn't going to be enough. I tried it on a 5mm, to have a 5 or 5.5mm needle, and it was okay. It was a little bit loose, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to go the exact opposite, and I went smaller. I went down to a 4mm because sometimes I know the bee stitch, that was when I was still thinking I was going to do the bee stitch, and the bee stitch has a lot of stretch to it. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go smaller needle. So I went to a 4 and I like it. And I don't know as if the needle size would have made that. I don't think I would have gotten a whole ball's worth of extra mileage out of this yarn by going a larger needle size, right? So I went with a smaller needle size that I liked the fabric that it was producing. And I was able to count the rows. So this is my scientific way of trying to figure out how much yarn I'm going to need. You can look here. Can I do this on camera? Okay, so if I look at the blue here, so see there's one, okay, so if we kind of count, there's 1, 2, 3, the white's 4, the dark blue's 5, the light blue's 6, dark brown's 7, light brown's 8, the white's 9. So I had counted and I think there was 17 stripes. I measured my stripes and it was 1.25 inches. 1.25 times 17 is something like 20, just 21.5 or something like that. So 21.5 inches plus the second ball is going to be another 21.5. So it's only 42, 43 inches. And I want it to be a full wingspan. So I want it to be about at least 60, which means I need one more ball. Did I tell you I did go to the other Michaels? The Michaels that I bought this yarn at, there was only 2 balls and I bought both balls. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see, maybe they've restocked and I will get another ball. But when I was in my touring around after work one night, I went to the other Michaels on the other side of town and they had a bunch of these colorways, the beach glass. So I know I can get one. I mean, unless somebody's decided to knit an Afghan out of it, but hopefully that didn't happen. Hopefully there's still one there. I think I will go pick one up tomorrow so I know that I have it. But I like it. I really like it. This cotton and acrylic, I hope it wears well. It feels really nice. It feels really soft. So it'll be a nice experiment to try this. I think this would be some yarn that my daughter might actually like and appreciate. She likes cotton. So this is a really fun stitch. This is a stitch I'm going to do a video, and I'm gonna actually record a video and I'm gonna post it here on the channel tomorrow. But what we're doing on this stitch, this pattern here, has Jocelyn knit with this, Susanna? I will ask her. So what you're doing is you're going between the stitches. So kind of as if you were going to start a cable stitch cast on, you take your needle and you go between the stitches. You knit, actually, you know what? I'm just going to knit the edge. I put a little bit of a border on this on both edges. So the only thing that I have to look at my pattern for, again, it's a 4-row repeat, is just to see what my edge stitches are. Once I get those first 1, 2, 3, or 4 stitches done, depending on the row, then I'm good to go. I don't need to look at the pattern again. So what I'm going to do is take my needle, put it between the stitches. Oh, Susanna, this was the yarn you sent her. Okay, I remember that you sent Jocelyn some yarn. Okay, let's start. So I put the needle between the 2 stitches. I've wrapped the yarn around the needle. You pull up a loop and then you knit that first stitch and you knit the second stitch. So that is the trick to this stitch, is making sure you have 3 stitches. So over here, I'm going to go between the first stitch and second stitch. I'm going to come right in here. So you want to make sure you're making 3 out of 2. So you're pulling up a loop. There's 1. You knit the first one. You knit the second one. So you've got 1, 2, 3. Can you see? Not this way. When I turn it around, they're twisted. So you want to count that as 2. So you want to see there's kind of like a double stitch and a single stitch. And you want those there. See, there's a double and a single. So that's 1, 2, 3. So when you're looking back at your stitches, that's what you want to make sure you have. You want to look and see you've got a double, single, double, single, double, single. Kind of looks almost like you're setting up for brioche. But the biggest problem I've had with this stitch is I get confident and not paying attention. And what I do is I go in between, I pull up a loop, and then I knit the first stitch, and I forget to knit the second one, and I immediately go in between and pull up a stitch again. Does it have a name? Diagonal fixed loop, I think is what it was called. So if you forget and don't knit that second stitch, and you just go in between, pull up a loop, knit the first one, Yes, it is pearls. It is purling on the way back. So see now how it looks like we've got, instead of, okay, let's backtrack here. See how it's 2, 1, 2, 1. Here we just have 2 and 2. That's wrong. You don't want that. It messes up the pattern. Couple times I've had to backtrack. I've had to pull up the row I was on plus the row below where I had forgotten to knit that second stitch. So now what I do is I go in between. So I either count 1, 2, 3, and then start again. My in-between stitch counted as 1, 2, 3, or I can't say it in my head, I'm going between 1, 2. Either way, I kind of flip-flop between that. And every once in a while, I just stop and just do a quick look back to make sure that I've got that 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Because you can fudge it, but it's just easier if you don't make a mistake. So that was just a little practice. That is the only thing that I found with this pattern is, yeah, sometimes at the beginning I was forgetting to work that, that second stitch. But other than that, it is really easy. It's fun. I found that I didn't want to stop. I'm just really, really enjoying knitting it. And I really like the texture that I'm getting. So it'll be fun to see how much this actually does bias over 3 balls. If it looks like a real slant, as in being a good design feature, or if it kind of looks halfway, like it kind of slants but it kind of doesn't, or kind of looks like it's doing it and you don't really want to, you know what I mean? So this will be a good experiment. I'm hoping that we can just embrace the diagonal of the stitch and let it diagonal and bias on its own, and turn out be a really nice, good bias. We'll see. It'll be a good wrap either way, right? It's fun. So what else? So yeah, so I will actually do a above shot over the hands of this stitch. So if you guys want to try it on a project, you can have that to reference back to. Dishcloths. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a super long video. I did do some more dishcloths. So the Fiber Friends, right? We just finished up the Knit What You Dyed challenge. We drew 3 winners on Friday on the podcast for the winners for the Knit What You Dyed. Just so fun. Anyways, I did a few more of these dishcloths. I finished up another ball, the cotton. So the cotton in here, the purple, the pink, and the light green variegated, that's what I dyed for the dyeing challenge weekend we did. And I held it together with the sparkly. Is the pattern found on the ball band? No, Nancy. I'm just making, I just kind of made well, I found the pattern in a stitch pattern book, and then just kind of worked it out to do the shawl. So I will, yeah, I will maybe write up the shawl pattern too. It's pretty simple. So yeah, if you'd like it, I will make that available too. So I used up another ball of my dishcloth. Okay, just wonder because it was biased as well. Yeah. So yes, which one? This one here. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, this one here is a biased as well. But this one here kind of reminded me of like a hitchhiker one where or with the points, right? Because I think it tells you on here you're casting off and then you're casting on. So anyways, yeah, I know, it's not fun. That's good catch. that they are both diagonal. That's interesting, but no, it's not the same pattern. Interesting how that worked out. Anyways, back to my dishcloths. I finished that last ball of hand-dyed cotton. I cannot wait to use these. I did this dishcloth. I just alternated 2 rows of cotton, 2 rows of the sparkly. I hope everybody in my family is as excited over this sparkly scrubby as I am. I tell you, I don't know why. It is just making me very happy. Maybe it's the sparkles. I don't know. I'm having fun knitting with it. And then I had enough left over again to do 2 of these little small scrubbies. It's basically just the same size as the palm of your hand. I just cast on 15 stitches with a size 6mm, which is a US 10, and I held both strands together, the scrubby sparkle and the dishcloth cotton, the Bernat Handicrafter, and I just garter stitched 15 stitches across and went that high. I think Cheryl measured it and it was something like 4.5 by 3.5, give or take, right? Whatever size you want. Anyways, and it worked out perfect. I just ended up with just inches left over of this cotton. Oh, actually, no. I don't know where it is. Anyways, doesn't matter, but I used it all. 2 whole balls of cotton that I dyed, I have knit up. Makes me super happy. So that has been my knitting for the week. Seems like there was a lot to talk about this week. I thought this would be a quick, short video. Next week, I'm going to talk next week about the needle I'm using for this shawl. I'll talk about that next week. I found a new needle and I really quite like it. Yes, okay, so Kathy, are you casting on tonight? Oh, what's that? The Musselburgh hat. Oh, yeah, in an adult medium. Oh, okay. Oh, fingering weight from Stash in a blue color. You're using Stash yarn too. Good for you. I know. I've been buying yarn the last few weeks for my New Start Mondays because I don't know, I was just getting bored with my stash and I should be knitting from my stash, but oh well, a little of this, a little of that, right? Oh, Valerie, oh yeah, you worked late. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, I'm glad you're home now and can kick back and relax. So I'm just kind of scrolling back through the comments. So what is everybody else working on tonight? We can take about 10 minutes and we can just chit chat a little bit. That's everything that I wanted to show you. That's all the progress that I've made this week. I'll put a stitch marker on this project. I'll backtrack and take out this part that I knit here. And I will mark this so I know my starting point. Hopefully I get lots done on this. And Kim, you spent, oh, what's this, the entire time? Oops, fixing your video. Oh, okay. Oh, you're working on your Yara shawl. Nice. Oh, I know, tech problems. Knock on wood, I don't think I've had any internet issues tonight. Hopefully not for you. Hopefully it was smooth and no glitches. Oh my, okay, Valerie, you're trying to finish up as, what is that? Okay, I can't even pronounce that, Valerie. Why do people have to give things tricky names? I swear they do it just so they can listen to me try to pronounce it. So what is that? Why? I should be able to, Zegwig Marantio mashup. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Katie, a cotton lace t-shirt. Oh, nice. Nice. What weight is the cotton, Katie? Is it a worsted weight or is it a fingering weight? Oh, Diane, you're still working on your capelet test knit. How's it going? Is it still going well? Are you enjoying it? Christine, how are you? Working on, oh, the throwover sweater. I was supposed to have knit that, you know, a few years ago. We were going to do a knit along through knit stitch for that. And then I think that was just before COVID. My gosh, that seems so long ago now. And then there was a issue getting in the yarn for the kits that Suzanne was going to put together. And that held it off. And then COVID hit and the rest is history. Oh my God, why is my, okay, we just talked about tech problems, didn't we? And my camera is being funny. I don't know what's doing. Okay, anyways, I'll try not to wiggle it too much for you. Hey Sue, how are you? You're working on a cardigan. Oh, your hand-dyed yarn. Fantastic. Fantastic. What color is it? Susanna, arrowhead knit scarf. Oh, sugar bush. That's nice. That's nice. Nancy, you started a marker bag, right? Marker bags. I have a marker bag that I'm going to show you guys Friday on the Fiber Friends podcast. 2 Boylan knits. Oh, nice, Val. Oh, that's the 2. Oh, and so you're putting pieces of each one together. That's super cool. Ginger Gerald. Oh, Susanna. Oh, Gerald just uploaded a video. Did he? Fantastic. Gerald, yes. Caroline and I, that's how the start of Caroline and I's sock knitting videos. And yes, Caroline was teaching Gerald how to knit a few years ago. Oh my goodness. That was such a fun time. Okay, Diane, the test knit's going great. Fantastic. Kathy, one of your Segwig was one of your daughter's favorite. Okay, you're also making Caitlin. Oh yes, Caitlin Hunter, she's got great patterns, doesn't she? Lots of speckles, blue, pink, and yellow. Oh, nice. That'll be so pretty. Oh, Susanna, you get notifications for his channel. Lovely. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna try not to hold my phone. Don't know why that's loose. That's really crazy. Oh boy, so is anybody else casting on anything new this week? I always like to encourage anybody to cast on with me because you can't finish it if you don't start it. That is my theory. That is how my New Start Mondays got started. Was I just wanted to cast on anything and everything, so I had it on the needle so I could just pick it up and work on it whenever, you know, I could just grab it and go, basically. Oh, is he? Oh, Gerald, he's knitting another sweater. Yeah, he picked up knitting so quickly. He did so well. Yeah, he's knit a couple of sweaters now. Fantastic. Okay, well, everybody, then I think we will wrap up so we can all just carry on knitting. I think I'm going to find, I don't know, kind of my typical night, find something on Netflix, watch something on YouTube. Maybe I'll watch Gerald's video. And I think I'll play around swatching and get started on this pillow. So I can't wait to show it to you next week. Oh, Katie, you cast on 2 things today because you need easy projects. Perfect. Well, you know what? If you're casting on something, tag me on Instagram at Wildflower Wool, and you can use the hashtag New Start Monday Knits, and then I can follow along with your progress. That'll be super fun. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. It's been lovely chatting with you. Happy knitting, happy casting on. Maybe you're getting close to a finish. Those are always fantastic as well. Have a great week, everybody, and I will be back here again next Monday. There'll be a new poll next Monday in my Wildflower Wool Instagram stories and Facebook. You can vote on whatever it is, yarn or a pattern choice. Don't know what next week's will be yet, so it'll be a surprise. And I will be here next week again, and we can chat some more. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Good night.